Hey everybody, it's Christine Ernst, the Fat Ass Cancer Bitch, coming to you from the Cozy Writing Cottage in Sandwich, Massachusetts on Cape Cod. It is Sunday, February 5th. It's a gorgeous day outside, 50 degrees today, which is awesome because yesterday it was like no degrees. So this is a welcome change. I hope you get to enjoy some of the day. My hair is down, as you may have noticed. I'm trying to loosen up a little. And these are yet another pair of reading glasses. I can't find the black ones I wore last week, which I really like, but let's try these. This piece I'm going to read is about boundaries. It's about a quote that saved my ass last year, changed my life in certain ways. It is called Fort. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. This was a quote I stumbled across at the very moment I needed it. I always imagine the boundaries that I set up as walls, as barriers, small fortresses, alligator-filled moats, bank vaults, medieval portcullises, great, jagged, unbreachable faults in my emotional landscape. You shall not pass. There's a heavy steel garage door in my head or my heart. It possesses a great momentum of its own once I start to tug it down. All this architecture, infrastructure, engineering meant to maintain a kind of safety. Keep someone or their behavior out. A one-way highway to get the fuck away from me. I never once imagined a boundary as a containment strategy. A cocoon, a bell jar. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. Such a boundary implies a symbiosis, an agreement. Please note the boundary, my friend. Acknowledge it, respect it. It will allow us to remain friends. Now swap in your word. It will allow us to remain colleagues. This boundary will allow us to remain married, lovers, to remain partners, to remain neighbors, to remain family, because the safety and structure of this arrangement allows me to take good care of myself. Such a funny notion. And the boundary between us, however occasionally permeable, exists to remind me that 1, I have no room for that shit in my life. And 2, the space that shit might have occupied in my life, I shall fill with something that delights me. An important rule of this two-way boundary is to try not to fill that sacred space of delight with gloating that you have kept that toxic shit out. The whole point of the boundary is to not even notice that toxic shit. To glide, unencumbered and serene, as if you are surrounded, indeed propelled, by a magical force field. Peek over the boundary if you must. And take note. Look, there's some toxic shit. Over there, far away from me, yet here I remain, safe and happy and unbothered in my beautiful lane, living my best life. My friend died in July. We made a fort for her before she left us. She told us she needed a bolt hole, a place to hide out when things got too hard. A safe space within the busyness of her already grieving household. She understood her family's need to be constantly close to her at the end. But she needed some boundaries and wanted to sometimes be alone so that she could come to peace with her failing body. Even now, she said. Especially now. So we discussed classic fort construction, couch pillows, and Afghans, for instance. Too impractical, given the situation. As was a tent made of sheets under the dining room table, too messy. Also the cubby space beneath the stairs, too small, so we settled on one of those anti-gravity lounging chairs beneath a fancy canopy hung from the ceiling, sort of a cozy phone booth. Tasseled pillows, furry blankie, battery-operated candles, crystals, wind chimes, fairy lights. We made it magical for her. She was even able to pull the curtain around her and enclose the space. To be alone with her own self. to love herself and her dying body on her own terms. And isn't that where we all are? All the time? Living, of course, but dying too, just way more slowly than she was? I will stop imagining the brick wall, the impenetrable barrier, the awful things I strive to keep out. I will imagine myself safe inside a cozy fort instead. Only the possibility of the love of the world on the other side, and only love for myself within, simultaneously. So go out for a nice walk, make yourself a cozy fort. Have a nice day, beloved folks. See you next week.